So, can you guys scoot your chairs a little bit together? Thanks. Tell me about when I was born.
When you were born, I was teaching 3rd grade in Bowling Green, Ohio, at Ridge Street School. And, well, actually, I had finished teaching in June, and you were born in September. And I had tried to take a leave of absence, which meant I could take off a year and then come back at the end of it. But I didn't have my professional license for teaching certificate at that time, and you had to have your master's degree to get that, and I didn't have my master's degree, and I hadn't taught long enough, which was 8 years I would have had to have taught too. So they said that I couldn't, but that the principal or the superintendent said that he saw no reason why I couldn't be hired back if I decided. So I had to resign when you were born because I felt I needed to take some time off to be with you. And I was working on my master's degree at the time too, so I went to school all summer, and your daddy was working on his master's degree. No, you were finishing up your undergraduate, your bachelor's degree, and I was working on my master's degree. So I went to school all summer, and he did too. And and then we finished up about 9 days or something before you were born. You weren't due until September 18th. And you decided you wanted to come into this world earlier than that. So you came in on September 9th. And it was a Thursday, September 9th. And Thursday's child has far to go.
I got a long way.
And you've come a long way.
You certainly have.
And so did you have to start teaching then that year before I was born? Or did you...
I did teach the year before you were born, but I didn't teach the year after you were born.
But did you teach up to like my birth?
I taught up to June, and then I went to summer school at the university through August. And Dad graduated with his undergraduate degree in late August, and then you were born September 9th, a few days after that. So I taught up to, I worked, I went to school and everything up until a few days before you were born.
Mm-hmm. How was my delivery?
Your delivery was fairly uneventful, except that they had run out of labor rooms, and so they had another lady and I in the same room, and they had started inducing her labor the night before, and she didn't get very far along, or I guess the day before, and so they had stopped the induction that night to let her get some sleep. And then I came in the morning, and they started her induction again, and we were about the same, doing the same things at the same time. And I remember we had the same doctors, and Dr. Householder started us out, and I said, what happens if we deliver these babies at the same time? And one of the nurses said, oh, don't worry about that. We've got a doctor here, and there's another one if we need him, and we have plenty of nurses. We'll be all set. Well, then Dr. Miller came on duty, and in the afternoon, and we were neck and neck. They said to take me in first. And from the labor room, we went into a delivery room, and you were born at 3:01, and delivered you, told Daddy the pertinent information and told him to announce it to the world. And he left and went over to the other lady. And at 3:06, they delivered her baby boy, who weighed 9 pounds and some ounces. He was like twice your size. You were 5 pounds 7 ounces. He was 9 pounds something or other.
Do you remember my APGAR scores?
No, they didn't tell me what yours were.
Tell us those things.
I didn't know anything about it, and they didn't even mention it. I still didn't know anything about it when April was born, but the nurse said, "Boy, she's so nice and white. You know, she looks like she's 3 days old." And she says, "I'm going to put 11 down for her. That'll shake them up down there in Columbus." But I don't know what they put down for you.
There weren't any problems with me afterwards. They didn't make me stick around in the hospital or anything.
No.
Everything was okay.
Right. They did send the nurse, visiting nurse around to check on you. They went around and checked on all underweight births. And, I don't know, something else too that they would go and check on. Well, I guess if there was a problem or whatnot. But she made one trip in, saw you were fine. I was fine. The house was fine. And she didn't come back.